Ladies and gentlemen, two officers were fired in the Breonna Taylor case. You know, it's just amazing. You can kill someone with a barrage of bullets, and the worst thing that happens to you is you get fired. Only in America. And then you want someone to respect your system. I don't think so. So anyway, this came out, ladies and gentlemen, in USA Today. Louisville police seek to fire two more officers connected to a fatal shooting of Breonna Taylor. I have a video that I want to play for you from USA Today.
The truth is now before us. The facts have been examined, and a grand jury comprised of our peers and fellow citizens has made a decision. So now the doors like flying open up one time, and all of a sudden there's a whole lot of shots. And I don't just got to. Grand jury proceedings are usually private, but in this case, a judge has ordered them to be released. So there's been a lot of public pressure for the audio to be public because of a lot of the questions about the case and what the grand jury heard or didn't hear. So a big question in this case, particularly in the past few days, but in the months since Breonna Taylor was killed, has been, did officers announce their presence before they entered her apartment with a battering ram? They had what's called a no-knock warrant, which means they legally didn't have to announce themselves. Evidence shows that officers both knocked and announced their presence at the apartment. The officers' statements about their announcement are corroborated by an independent witness who was near in proximity to apartment 4. In other words, the warrant was not served as a no-knock warrant. When we all got in line, I knocked on the door, banged on it. We didn't announce first couple because our intent was not to hit the door. Our intent was to give her plenty of time to come to the door because they said she was probably there long. So we predetermined to give her plenty of time to come to the door. Banged on the door, no response. Banged on it again, no response. At that point, we started announcing ourselves, please come to the door. Please get a search warrant. While we're doing this, there's a neighbor or somebody upstairs right on the staircase and started arguing with Detective Henderson. And they were both giving commands to go back into his apartment. And he kept saying, I wasn't paying attention. He was saying something about leaving a girl alone or something like that. But while he was doing that, we were still announcing police, come to the door, police search warrant. When we banged, I probably banged on the door six or seven different time periods. Not 6 or 7 times, but 6 or 7 different times. It seems like the turn in the doorway.
Now, if you remember, the neighbors all said they heard no knocking, and the police actually harassed one neighbor into changing their story. And out of fear, he went along with the police, but later changed the story back to not hearing any knocking. So, this is always the case in America. The cops will say one thing, the witnesses around or the people around that heard everything going on will tell you something different. This is very commonplace in America. And it just goes to show you right there are issues with police, but these are issues they don't care to clear up. So they give them qualified immunity. And if they can't get them out of everything, then they just simply go ahead and fire them. And firing is nothing. It is nothing. For what they did, it's absolutely nothing. So they pre-terminated Detective Joshua Jaynes, received a termination letter Tuesday from interim chief. And remember, they have a black female chief of police. Oh, how convenient, right? Yvette Gentry, after a professional standards unit investigation found that he violated the department procedures for preparation for a search warrant execution and truthfulness. his attorney, Thomas Clay, said. Detective Miles Cosgrove, who the FBI concluded fired the shot that killed Taylor, also received a pre-termination letter. His attorney, Jared Beck, confirmed Tuesday evening. It's possible more officers involved in the raid or the connected narcotic investigation could face additional discipline. LMPD has not released its professional standard unit investigation, which the Courier-Journal previously reported included at least 6 officers. So all they're saying is at this point, these 2 will be terminated, Joshua Jaynes and Miles Cosgrove, but the others involved could also be fired. But with the firing a cop is absolutely like doing nothing. These cops can go to another county or go a town over and get rehired. I mean, this is ridiculous. If you don't want to do something, just say you don't want to do it. All this little remedial stuff you're doing, this little garbage. Wow. In Jaynes' pre-termination letter, Gentry said he committed extreme violations of our policies, which endangered others. Your actions have brought discredit upon yourself and the department, she wrote. Your conduct has severely damaged the image of our department, has established within our community. Your image as a cop is already damaged by default. You know, you've been damaged since the plantation police days. There's no damaging you now. What kind of damage can people do to a department that started out in complete negativity? No, you've been damaged a long time ago. Jane has a hearing with Gentry and her staff Thursday morning. Detective Jaynes and I showed up for the pre-termination hearing and try to convince acting Chief Gentry that his actions is unwarranted, Clay said. Jaynes did nothing wrong. Gentry's decision comes just days before Mayor Greg Fisher has said he plans to announce his pick for Louisville new permanent police chief. Gentry, an interim chief, has said she didn't want the position, and a nationwide search was launched this summer. Lanita Baker, an attorney for Taylor's family, said Gentry made the right move. No, she didn't, because she needs to jail these cops. Firing them is not the right move. I disagree with that. So, ladies and gentlemen, so he already went to his hearing, and Mattingly, who is the other one that received a letter from the chief of police, a spokesperson for Mattingly attorney did not immediately respond to requests for comment from the Courier-Journal, part of USA Today network. Jaynes and Cosgrove are officially fired Thursday. They will be the second and third officers connected to Taylor's death to be terminated by LMPD. The department had previously fired Detective Brett Hankinson in June for blindly firing 10 rounds into Taylor's apartment. He now faces 3 counts of first-degree wanton endangerment. And don't he have some sexual assault charges on him as well? I believe he does. Jaynes was not present at Taylor's South Louisville apartment during the shooting, but about 12 hours earlier, he secured a warrant with a no-knock clause from Jackson Circuit Court judge. In the letter, Gentry wrote that Jaynes lied twice when he swore the warrant to Circuit Judge Mary Shaw. Yes, he did. They lied to get that no-knock warrant. So that's true. So they said he lied twice to Circuit court judge, Mary Shaw, on March 12th, which he did. Detective Jaynes lied when he swore, verified through the U.S. Postal Inspector, Gentry wrote, before explaining that Jaynes actually spoke to Mattingly, who had spoke to Shively police. Gentry also said Jaynes lied when he swore that Glover had been receiving packages at Taylor's apartment. So the chief of police is saying all of that is a lie. So she was not receiving no drug packages for her boyfriend. Like all these people that have been putting video after video after video lying and showing you doctored Photoshop pictures online. You know, I mean, come on, if you're going to lie about somebody, don't put out a bunch of Photoshop pictures, okay? That kind of defeats your lie from the jump. So, ladies and gentlemen, none of this brings Breonna Taylor back. But I just think when you do an investigation this long into a police department and you just conclude firing officers and not bringing them up on charges for just going out there and acting like they're at the Wild Wild West OK Corral, and this is the best this interim chief of police could do, is just firing some cops, and you may fire a few more. It sure don't make me feel better about the Breonna Taylor case at all. Y'all, please tell me what you think. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.